We're at halftime of the Texas-TCU game, and our halftime guest today is a very familiar face to University of Texas fans, the assistant head football coach under Darrell Royal for 20 years here at Texas, the defensive coordinator for the Longhorns for all of those years, Mike Campbell. Mike, it's good to see you again.
Bill, it's good to see you. Thank you.
What we see in the press box all the time at all of these games, looking very official up there. What are you doing now?
Bill, I'm with the Texas Longhorn Education Foundation, and we have a club right up on the 9th floor that runs from the length of the field, and we have about 220 members, and so they eat lunch up there and socialize. It's a lot of fun.
Mike, those kind of clubs now are coming on the scene in college football. There has been a need in the last, I guess, 5 or 6 years to raise extra funds besides what you make out of your football revenue.
That's right, Bill. The money has become so scarce and the cost so high that they've had to go outside to get it. But up to now, we really have been all right. We haven't needed this, but we know that sometime in the near future we will.
Is it a closed club? Yeah, you had just a certain number, I believe, and you signed them up the first day, didn't you?
No, it wasn't quite that easy, but we're limited, yeah, for space reasons. And we're limited to about 220 is about the maximum we'd handle.
Mike, a lot of people ask me now on the road and doing college football games every weekend, they're making comparisons. They always do with great football teams. This one's undefeated. Its defense primarily has gotten the Longhorns this 8-0 record. And is it as good a defense as you've seen here on the 40 acres?
Bill, I think it is, yeah. It's real hard to compare defenses because you have to compare them against who they've been playing. But I'd say for overall execution, this team is good, just as good as I've seen, yes.
I think the defensive backfield, and we talked about it in the pregame, Mossy Cade and Curry, and especially Jerry Gray, that bunch. And when you have a Peavy youngster who sits on the bench and doesn't play very much, a Ty Allard who sits on the bench, he doesn't start, he plays a lot.
Yeah.
When you have those type of people, you've got a lot of depth, sir.
They're a fearless group, I'll say that, and they have a lot of speed. And you can be a little bit more reckless if you have speed, because if you make a mistake, they can overcome that with nothing but sheer speed. But they're a lot of fun to watch play.
You coached a pretty good number 60 yourself back in 1963, and Tommy Nobis, there's another one here now. They like to make comparisons of those two middle linebackers.
Well, now I'll go back. I think this is a great defense, but I'm not comparing anyone with Tommy Nobis. But it's really unfair for me to even try to, because I haven't studied film or watched lighting, and it's real hard for me to tell. But he's talking about a pretty good man when he talks about Nobis.
Mike, when we had Darrell on earlier this year, we talked about favorite teams. The 1969 team was the favorite in a poll taken here several months ago by the Texas fans. Do you have any favorites?
No, I didn't ever have a favorite, Bill. You always remember the real good teams, but I wouldn't say I favored that team any more so than 63 or even 61 that got beat by this crowd here. Big upset. But so it's real hard to say. I wouldn't say I had a favorite.
Mike, back when you were coaching, I guess the offenses weren't allowed to maybe get away with as much. It wasn't as high-powered, as high-scoring a game as it is now in college football. You think it'd be a little tougher now coaching defenses?
I don't know. It would be, yeah, I think they've tied the hands of the defense to a large extent. I sure do, in college and professional football. But I think that it's miraculous that Texas gives up as few yards as they do with allowing holding, or virtually allowing holding on pass protection, and at least using their hands. And it's awfully hard to get to a passer anyway, but it's almost impossible if they let you reach out and grab them. And I think that's a big change. I sure do.
Put you on the spot. You think this defense can lead the Horns to an undefeated season?
I think so. I really do. I think if they keep up, the only way I think they could lose, and this is easy for me to say being on the sideline, is for the Texas defense to all of a sudden take a vacation. And you never know if that's going to happen. Defense is more consistent than offense to start with. And by that I mean they can't fumble or they don't get passes intercepted. So what they do usually can be duplicated more often than an offensive team. And I don't think there's any way that they'll let up now. They've got too much at stake.
Mike, thank you very much for visiting with us. It's always a pleasure seeing you here at Memorial Stadium.
I enjoy seeing you. I'll see you on the golf course.
Okay, Mike Campbell, the defensive coordinator under Darrell Royal for 20 years at the University of Texas. We're at halftime of the Texas TCU game, and we'll be back with more right after this brief timeout. This is Home Sports Entertainment.
HSE, a new concept in home sports entertainment. HSE assures you of the best seat in the house with all the comforts of home. In November, live, 4 big games from the Dallas Mavericks. San Antonio Spurs visit twice, the New Jersey Nets and the Houston Rockets. Also live, preseason Southwest Conference basketball from the University of Texas with the Yugoslavian national team and St. Edwards at SMU. HSE will also have the Louisiana Downs season review, Texas mixed pairs gymnastics, and more from the Big 8 with OU at Nebraska. In the month of November, we're going to assure you the best seat in the house from Home Sports Entertainment.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Austin, where the University of Texas Longhorn Marching Band is performing a rather somber halftime because TCU is holding a surprising 14-3 lead over Texas, but this is one of the most outstanding bands in the nation. Let's go down and watch a little of the action. Well, if Fred Akers made a fervent halftime speech, it was short and sweet. The Longhorns are already back out on the field as the band winds up its halftime activities. Mickey Herskowitz and I will be back with the halftime stats and the second half kickoff right after this brief timeout. This is Home Sports Entertainment.
This bud's to everyone who tackles the changes and challenges of that new promotion.
This bud's for you. There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. So here's to you for all you do.
Yep, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do. This bud's for you.
Darryl Dawkins and the New Jersey Nets attempt to scoop up the Dallas Mavericks Thursday, November 17th at 7:30. The Nets also bring with them former Houston Cougars star Otis Birdsong. So catch all the fun of NBA basketball on HSE as the Dallas Mavericks try to put a hole in the Nets Thursday the 17th. And remember, Wednesday the 30th, Ralph Sampson returns to HSE. So be with us as the NBA bounces into your living room this month.
We're just moments away from kickoff at Memorial Stadium. There you see the shocker. TCU 14.